Okay, so taking paper copies to a property when you're performing a checkout, it can be quite cumbersome. You're switching pages, scribbling on the paper. So we would advocate using RLA Inventory Plus that there is a better way of doing things. And what I've done here is I've downloaded a PDF of a previous inventory onto my iPad. So it doesn't have to be an inventory that you performed on Inventory Plus. It could be one that was performed on another system. But once you've opened it up on your device, on your iPad in this case, when you tap the screen up in the top right, you'll have the option for Open in iBooks. So if you open it up in iBooks, it will then open that PDF up into your iBooks app, which all iPads come with. Now that's really useful because then when you go to the property, what you don't need to do is carry your paper copy around with you. So you literally can just swipe through from left to right, which is much easier than fumbling with paper when you're at the property. It's also nice because you can of course zoom in on photographs. Obviously in this case we're using an inventory from the Inventory Plus system, but what we're suggesting is that you don't arrive with your app and painstakingly go through each individual item. Because, and here we have an example, I'll go into the Inventory Plus system. So as you can see, I've got a completed inventory on my account, and up on the right hand side next to the tenant's name, I've got the option to add a report. So I can choose add a report, and it will then say to me, what kind of report do I want to create? Now, it's automatically picked an interim visit report for me, which I could choose to do. But in this case, I'm going to say, actually, I want to do a checkout inventory. And I want to copy the contents for this particular tenant's check-in inventory. If you've got more than one tenant against a property, you can choose which contents you wish to copy. So I then hit save and next. It takes me through into the report setup. So now you will see I've got my overview screen. So on my overview screen I can go into different areas of the report, but that's really useful because what I don't want to have to do, as I mentioned before, for instance, if I'm in rooms and spaces, if I click on the rooms and spaces option, it then takes me into, in this example we've only set up one room space, which is entrance hallway. Now I could say start inspection and go through each individual item, but I'm not going to do that because from a practical sense, what you don't want to have to do, for instance, if there's no issues with the door frame and the skirting, you don't necessarily want to report on that as an item. But let's just say I'm at the property, I'm using my iBooks app because I'm looking at my surroundings whilst I'm going through the previous report. And let's just say I looked at the light fittings, and the light fitting description said that the light bulbs were working and that they were in a good cleanliness and condition. I can then, if I want to, swipe through and have a look at the photographs and so on. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to assume, let's just assume that the bulbs aren't working for whatever reason. So I can then go into my list, go straight into light fittings, and then I could record that there's an issue. It shows me my previous description just above. I can then go in and say, right, okay, what did we say? That the bulbs were in working order. And here we go. We've got the option here. So where it says all bulbs working, I can just go in and change that and maybe say that they were missing or that they're not working. So I've made my changes. I could then say that the item needs replacing. So the bulbs need replacing. And then I could then also take a new photograph of those light fittings if I wanted to. And then when I hit save and next, it will record that item for me. And up in the top left, I can then go back into my room overview. So when I tap on my room overview, you will then see that the light fittings are showing in green. But let's just say hypothetically there's nothing else wrong in the entrance hallway. I have no other issues to report. I would then just click the confirm I've inspected this room button and then hit my overview, or if there's more than one room or space, that overview button will say next. So here we have, I've then gone into the entrance hallway, I've checked everything that I need to. Now it's important to note that any item that is showing in green will show in the report, but it won't show all of the others. Obviously in the checkout report there's no point in showing descriptions of items that haven't changed. So just to confirm, you don't need to go and delete all those other items because you're worried they're going to show and you don't want them to. It's only the items in green that will show in the report. So to summarise, the quickest and simplest way is to open up your PDF and save it to your device, so when you arrive at the property you can flick through it with ease, and then when you do identify an issue you can go straight to that specific item.